Dạ, correct.
Hi, Mr. Razak. How are you?
Hi, Fatihah. Good, good. Good to see you again.
Yeah, you too. Okay, we can start now.
Sure.
Uh, Thank you for attending. This would be our last topic for the day
Right.
on CPD Unlimited Events 2021.
Yep.
So, it's a digital twin surveying solution for building lifecycle management. I will introduce Mr. Razak to the audience. Okay. Mr. Razak is from Geodelta Systems in Berhad, and he's a built environment specialist in BIM modeling and as-built surveyor. He's a Sabahan from Kota Kinabalu. He completed his first degree in surveying and mapping science in 1998, Master of Business Administration in 2004, and certificate in BIM 2020. He is Managing Director of Geodelta System, for which core business are supplying digital construction workflow and modeling services via BIM, delivering A&A works, which with proven scan to BIM services, specialized 3D laser scanning, close range to long range, and have great interest in 3D visualization, virtual reality, and digital twin. So his talk will be around the needs of delivering an accurately designed BIM model. It's often require a right workflow and tools at each phase of construction and handing over the built asset as project information model. On the other hand, reality capture play an important role in supporting graphical components of asset information model, for which existing building asset required the latest as-built 3D parametric model for building rehabilitation works and many other potential BIM use. The presentation provide an overview of surveying tools and proven solution that capable to deliver the mentioned tasks as part of the scope in managing the building life cycle. So, Mr. Razak, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Fatihah. Right. So I'll be sharing the screen now. Yep. Can everyone, and can you see the screen
Yeah,
that I shared?
yeah, we
It's a
can.
it's a PowerPoint, right?
Yes.
Okay, right. Very good afternoon. Okay, my name is Razak Wong. Okay, today, okay, I'm very delighted to have this opportunity, okay, to share with you on these topics on digital twin surveying solutions for building a life cycle management for that matters. I think the pictures in front here, it tells, okay, as you can see that,
Mr. Razak,
it's a
what
very,
we see is two or three. It's not a full screen slides
not a full screen slide. What do
because
you
I
see
can
at the moment?
see next slide. Click to add notes.
Oh, oh, okay, just a moment. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe the screen share is not the right screen share. Just a moment. Yeah. Let me share it again. Do you see the bigger
Okay.
screen?
Yes.
Okay, right. So you got a okay full screen, yeah. Okay,
Yep.
right. So to the subject that we are discussing today, I'm trying to relate, okay, surveying tools, okay, and then with related to the construction phase itself. You can see that there's numbers there, lah, from from planning stage all the way to design, okay, up until construction and delivering itself, right? So how would the surveying tools nowadays will be able to assist, okay, in terms of a typical modern so-called construction, okay, in terms of digital twins matters now. And right, okay, now I am showing these slides here. If you can see on the left-hand side, okay, this is actually a diagram extracted from PAS, okay, 1192, right? It's actually showing that, okay, when we are designing buildings, okay, we have the phases of so-called, okay, because the phases of the design itself, yeah. From, from beam terms point of view itself, we have it from EIR, okay, all the way to the DEP, MIDP, all the cycle to the design stage until we deliver the so-called building, okay, the asset, okay, as here itself. Now, in terms of, I think, deliverable, okay, we have it PIM. PIM is in BIM's term is a project information model. Basically,
Mhm.
we're talking about model with information itself, okay, of course, with the database, right? That's during the construction site itself. Now, with that itself, we have also the AIM, okay, which is the asset information model. Now, why I mentioned these two specifically itself is because, okay, uh, I think for modern building itself, okay, delivering a design model is not the problem, okay, because we have all the so-called digital design, okay, been done in respective so-called parametric modeling software such as Revit, ArchiCAD, etc. Okay, but then PIM itself here, okay, they bear in mind that okay, we have to deliver sometime projects requirement itself. We have it for as-built LOD 500. Okay, so how do we verify on that? I think scanning, okay, or maybe reality capture itself come a very important role itself, whereby it's reducing or so-called effort itself, go on site and check, one by one itself. Instead, we can scan the entire building itself, right? And then sit in office itself and then do a digital walkthrough, okay, using point clouds, right? On the other hand itself, you can see that from M to maybe from M here, right? For, I think we talk about so-called building life cycle. We have so many buildings nowadays, right? That potentially okay, doesn't have okay layout drawing itself, right? So reality captures come in very handy way, whereby it can help us to collect, okay, the SQL information, right, for structure, for archi, and maybe even up to M&E, okay, depending on the needs of that itself, okay. Especially this AIM itself will be able to provide as data for FM purposes itself. Okay, so later on itself, this so-called sharing session itself will be discussing how okay we actually delivering that. Okay, the tools, okay, the workflow for the matters. Okay, now with that itself, okay, a bit background of company itself. Basically, is we have actually a laser scanning provider. Okay, that also provide BIM solution. We so-called this paper itself. We're trying to share based on our local knowledge itself, okay, for the past 14 years of practice for the matters. Yep. Okay. Now, along the way, okay, we also based on, I think, the international standards, okay. Also, we based on some regional standard as well, okay, and also our local standard JKR itself. We are trying to so-called converge, okay, the requirement, right? So that we are so-called tallying to the construction phase itself, okay? How it works, okay? So the next slide, okay, here it comes here. Now, first thing first, I suppose, okay, nowadays, if you want to deliver a projects, okay, we need to have a strategy, okay? Same goes to so-called the tools that we use itself, okay? I suppose, let me just go down one by one, right? I suppose when you want to build a building, you will have an organization kind of like a strategy, yeah, right? Then you go say, after you build it, how would you like to utilize your asset? So you also have your asset information requirement for that. Then subsequently, then you come with your beam requirement, right? Your beam requirement itself. Then itself, you have your so-called beam requirement LOD 100, 200, 300, okay, construction model 400, all the way up to SQ 500 itself. Then subsequently, you have your asset information model for that. Now, having all these so-called requirement, now we translate into the building life cycle. Okay, so from here is the texture part itself. Then we go here. Now, in order to deliver this life cycle, we need the tools. So this is the topic of the digital twin surveying solution for that matters. Yeah. Okay. Now, come to here itself, how we deliver. Okay. Now, then we talk about in terms of construction life cycle itself. I would try to use based on the beam use. Okay, beam use, it will be very common, okay, to the industry itself, right? We have lots of beam use. Okay, so these are the list of beam use, yeah. Okay, 3D coordination, asset management, etc., blah blah, everything here. Okay, but what we're trying to say that, okay, how would the surveying tools come in here? Okay, we at certain so-called roles and responsibility. Yeah, so I have highlighted here, okay, as part of the so-called potential use of the reality capture in terms of the construction phase itself, such as 3D coordinations, okay, asset management, okay, clash detections, okay. All this itself, why I mentioned that is because, okay, when we perform some form of so-called modeling, or we're doing construction itself, it bound to have errors, okay. We need to collect, the data itself, okay. That's why the surveying tools come in very handy to provide the right tools, the right data itself, so that engineers and design consultants, or maybe contractors, okay, specialists, okay, would be able to, okay, treating the problems with the right data itself. That's why I'm trying to say the beam use itself. From here itself, that's why I think along the way, okay, in terms of the so-called the life cycle here, okay, so this is perhaps, okay, there are some tools along the way that surveying tools can come in itself. Now, again, okay, why I talk about the life cycle, okay. Now, BIM, I think we dealt with three types of informations, okay. There will be graphical, right, the database and documentations. So today, the surveying tools is addressed more towards a graphical model itself, yeah, okay. So that, okay, we have, we're talking about a level of detail, okay, because in our real world sometimes, it's somewhat too complicated, okay, to how to say that, to model everything itself. So we need to be selective, okay, to model it, because end of the day is the cost of the whether it's called effectiveness or not. Now this is where that I highlighted, okay. um, we have a different so-called the level of details, okay, right. So we had to choose one, all right. In our past experience itself, okay, most of the scanning itself, okay, can be done, very thoroughly, very quickly itself. But modeling of that itself, normally we choose not level of development, okay. I mentioned here is a level of detail here, up to 300, because based on the practicality on the and the cost effectiveness, okay, that will not be very costly, okay, for project development, okay. So the subsequent, this is the examples that you can see, okay, why we choose 300. That's because, okay, it's enough to represent, okay, our real world, okay, environment itself. Yeah, not too simple, not too complicated, but just enough, okay, for engineers, okay, to work on their ways for that matters. Okay, so there will be some examples of the level of detail on that itself. Okay, now today we're going to have five almost major topics that I'm going to touch on the tools itself. Okay, now that based on, I would say that maybe respective construction phase itself here, as you can see the whole construction phase here, right? So I will have some scannings that I will try to introduce, some software, right? I mentioned the software here because internally we use that, okay? So we find it, that's we are very so-called familiar with that. That's why I mentioned the AutoDesk product itself. meta shared capture reality for that matters, okay, at the surveying stage itself, because we need to collect data, okay, data like site plan, like topographic itself, okay. That's where we can use the drone, okay, maybe the scanners, okay, to collect the topographic data itself. Then perhaps for this data will be coming into so-called planning stage and design stage itself. Yeah, okay. Then the architect or maybe the engineers, okay, will based on the so-called the landscape itself, okay, performing the analysis or maybe the design. Now, come to that, the surveying tools, okay, will become in play itself during the setting out stage itself. Okay, maybe grading, okay, maybe so-called the layout, building, and so forth. Yeah, okay. And then also, okay, maybe the utilities, cables, power, and so forth. So these are the tools that we'll be using along the way. Yeah? Okay. So if we're able to define it properly, okay, then there should not be a so-called confusion for that matters. Okay. So during construction stage itself, I highlighted here, scanning is very useful as well because along the way when we build, especially design consultant can build very wonderful millimeter accuracy, right? That's common, right? Okay. But when delivering it, wow, it's sometimes different from what being designed. Sometimes wrongly deliver, wrong errors, wrong drawings, so forth. Okay, so scanner for any BIM manager for architect would be able to say, okay, I want to check my subcontractor works. Okay, there it goes. You can use this so-called technology to verify the works, so that you can say approve payment, no approve payment. So something that can be show on that. That's definitely a good way. Yeah. Okay, so construction validations, okay, as I said, for that matters. And then also maybe some infrastructures because we have incoming cables coming in, road and so forth. So data need to be collected as well. Yeah, for that, if you involve a new development with some so-called connected roads and so forth. Yeah, and finally, okay, facility management itself. Okay, once you have done that, okay, perhaps we are talking about as-built LOD 500. Okay, so we can all check whether it's designed accordingly or not, so that it meets the project objective of the life cycle of the entire building. Yeah, that's why the tools is very important here, right? So now, okay, I think this is the life cycle here. Okay, and now this is the so-called maybe the 5 topics that I'll be sharing today, right? So we have the so-called terrestrial laser scanners. Okay, as you can see, these are the icons that I highlighted previously. We have the beam to field solutions. Okay, beam to field solution is just like a total station. Normally people do the survey and everything. But now this is more canggih already because you can put your design, okay, into this little machine itself, and then you do a proper setting up. So your piling point, your whatever corner, what's not, okay, you can do it exactly according to the design. Instead of book out the 2D itself, offset, 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 then come to view, okay, salah, then redo again, something, yeah. So this is a very interesting topic to share with that. Then we have the imager, okay. This is like our so-called like an iPhone, okay, but it's not an iPhone, but actually the picture is beyond iPhone, all right. You can take picture, you can measure it, okay, you can do a documentation, so you won't be arguing, okay, during the project meeting side itself. Is very, very helpful and handy, right? And then number 4, I'm talking about some software that could help you to do like realistic, kind of like the modeling itself, because sometimes we saw, wow, very nice picture, everything, but when you do the modeling, hey, okay, kenapa not using this modeling, or because expensive to model. So there are alternative so-called technology can bring, okay, reality into almost close to our real life itself. This is called a photogrammetry solutions, using point cloud meshing and so forth. And finally, I think it's not much, it's a point cloud model itself that will be based on the Autodesk. Yeah. Okay. So quickly go on that. Now, I think this is what I'm trying to mention here. Okay. Scanners. Okay. So scanner can be deployed during early stage here. Okay. Constructions, validation, and FM side. Okay. Automation on that. Yeah. Now, how it looks like. Okay. This is the scanners. Okay. We have different type of toys. I would say toys itself because we have the backpack type. If you want to go very large scale, right? We have the on the tripod side itself. This is can go up to 1 kilometer of scanning distance for that matters. Okay, this all in Malaysia. We have this kind of picture. This about 2 minutes scanning, 2 million points per second. Sample scan in our Shah Alam stadium itself. Okay, we have also a lady which is holding a very lightweight scanner. You can see lady also can do a scanner. Very easy. Okay, tripod. Okay, This scanner may be very, need to have guys to carry 14 kgs, a bit heavy duty. See also guy, but for this scanner, very light, 1 kg itself. Okay, ladies can go in and to do scanners to do verification. So it's equal gender for that, right? And we also have the handheld scanner. Okay, lots of toys. Okay, and this is maybe for a large scale mapping for the mobile scanning itself. Okay, now the next picture I'll try to show you, so-called a quick one. Okay, how it functions. Okay, so basically a bit technical here. It's like it's able to collect, okay, thousands of points per seconds, okay, and able to rotate just like a 360, okay, right, moving 360 itself and 270. It's got camera. It has got the short, very short kind of like the scanning time itself. Okay, this is for the static. You can see. So you can see next time you hear static scanner, you see on a tripod. This is the scanner. Okay, this is the type. So these are the various range for that. Yeah. Okay. Then we have the handheld type. Handheld type is a new technology. Okay, it has got the IMU inside. Okay, you can see a lady holding it. Okay, very lightweight. You can walk and scan itself. Okay, so you can scan the entire floor very quickly itself. So good for maybe air networks whereby they want to have a layout, quick layout drawing for their matters. Okay, then we have the large scale, more canggih, more scanner, whereby if you want to go for a larger scale, okay, we can see that we can run like a 50 to 60 kilometer per day run itself. So we talk about infrastructure type itself, okay, if you need that. But mostly our experience, we're dealing with, static scanner and handheld scanner for that, okay. Right, now, I think skip that part itself. So these are some of the pictures, okay, and I'd like to share with you. On the left-hand corner here, okay, and the right-hand corners, this basically is a scanner results. Okay, scan and with color pictures. It's just like a Google Street, right? Isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
So now basically you scan and this is what you got because it's superimposed with the photo and you see like, oh wow, you are in the location itself, yeah, to scan it. Now from here itself, we will be doing the modeling. You see, almost there lah. Okay, we have so-called the structure, we have the walls, we have the piping, we have the flows. Okay, this one we do it generically because we don't do the kaki modeling itself lah. Okay, because maybe LOD different definition. Okay, on the right hand side, okay, the chiller tower itself, it is almost the same. This is the site, and this is the model. All right. So you see, if you have any projects come across, you need scanning. Okay, this is the mechanism you need it. Okay, you can go and scan it, scan lots of points, come back and deliver it, maybe do the ANA works itself. So very useful for that. Okay, and then okay, this is in fact for information, this is an airport actually. This is an airport overseas. Okay, for that matters, we scan the entire airport, almost about 700,000 meters square. So it took us about 2 years to complete the project itself. So for all the system like architectural, structurals, and also the MME side. So we have a good experience to share with. Okay, that more practical experience for that. Yeah. So on heritage side, also we are also a personal very keen because Malaysia is full with multicultural. Okay, we have lots of places itself. Okay, so we have opportunity to scan like quill, like masjid, okay, temple. Okay, so you can see, you can scan it. Okay, with the new toys, the software itself, and then embed it. Okay, we can make it like a virtual tour itself. Okay, so that especially pandemic time, no place to go at the moment. Okay, I suppose we can put this up into a virtual site itself. Perhaps okay, that will promote, okay, attract more tourists come to our country later on. Yeah, in preparation of post-pandemic. I really hope so. Okay, and then say to Tunggu Negara. Okay, we can scan that as well. This is on the left-hand side, and this is the scanner that we have scan right to come with that. In fact, this can be modeled out there. Now talk about ship buildings. Okay, shipyard itself. You can see this is a FPSO about a size of boat, about 200 meters. Okay, we scan the top side. You see, mostly this kind of application meant for modifications, piping, structures, and so forth. Okay, for that matters. And then subsequently, this is the so-called six-legged, okay, offshore platform itself. When we scan it, and then we convert into the model itself. You see the structure itself here. And then this is the partial model for the point clouds, okay, and so forth. Yeah, this is the piping, okay, for that matters. That's for more oil and gas industry. For Malaysia side, we have a lot. Okay, this is example that for Plus. Okay, we have scanned a couple of R&R building itself, inside and outside, and this actually deliver from derived from the point cloud. Okay, you can see I've got rooftop, has got the structures, got the mirrors, walls, and so forth. Okay, all derived from scanning result for that matters. Okay, now subsequently examples. Okay, this can be enhanced. Okay, I'm sure maybe familiar lah. This one is somewhere in Sungai Buloh. Okay, R&R. If you drive there, something is familiar lah. I think maybe as a Malaysian that we may be familiar with that. Okay, this is some spot. Okay, same area. Okay, inside the cafeteria. Okay, and this is some another area in class. Okay, I'm sure you're familiar lah. Okay, from the walk coming here for the to the surau area and toilet area. Okay, this is what we derive, and then this is also somewhere at the Seremban area itself. Okay, doing scanning. Okay, you see, can get the ceiling and can get the so-called interior structure for that cermin semua. Okay, based on the so-called real-time so-called current SP for that. So this is very typical. Now the next example, which is very what we call interesting, it's Quran decoration in Shalam. Okay, I'm sure that this is also very famous, I think, family for us. Okay, so this is way back about 2014 or 15 itself, right? So I think the problem was they don't have the execute drawing for that. Okay, so we deploy laser scanning. Okay, climb up to the fourth tower of the fourth tower itself, scan from up to about 1 mm accuracy itself, yeah. So we scan all the panel, we scan the quadrant roots, the heart here, and then also the shoulder here. So we do the reverse engineering itself, okay. So this is how it looks like in the laser scanning point cloud. Yep. So that we draw everything for that, okay. And then this is where the panel, you can see that, right? The panel, and that is how we derive, okay, the panel drawing itself with the so-called pattern, yeah, right? So that matters, okay. And then this is the whole entire dome, okay, masjid punya ni, Kuba, okay, that we are trying to do the grading system itself, and then deriving, okay, the position, and finally come up with the execute drawing for that. Okay, this is for Malaysian examples, yeah, not somewhere overseas. So it's something that we proud with, okay, for local examples for that matters, right? And some other examples like school, okay, you do scanning, right? Scanning, then you do the so-called architectural drawing lah. Okay, so this one, the school want to do expansion, they don't have the drawing, we scan it. Okay, at first they want to do traditional survey, it's impossible to get this kind of detail. It is impossible. Okay, so we deploy scanner, okay, and then we draw it, right? Elevation drawing, section drawing itself, okay, based on Revit. Okay, then we derive the 2D drawings. Okay, and of course you can see this topographic. Okay, we didn't survey this one because we got it from the scanner point cloud itself. We can do up to half a meters of contour, 1 meters upwards. That can be done easily, very easy. Okay, most importantly, okay, we are no longer dealing with 2D. We can deliver our design in 3D itself because all in done in Revit for matters. Okay, so with that, I would like to share with you a workflow. Okay, how we deliver for the point clouds to 3D modeling. Just now is to give you a flavors of how it looks like because quick preview first. Yeah. Now how we do it, the workflow to share with you, right? So we would utilize scanners. Okay, we do the location scanning itself. Then we survey it so that we have a proper coordinate system, yeah, so that we merge properly with the boundary and so forth. Okay, then we process the data itself, merge all the file because we've got so many scan points. Yeah? Okay, sometimes one building would have 300 scanning point, maybe 400 scanning point. The data size could be up to 1 terabyte. It's pretty big itself. So we're talking about actually big data and analytics as well, but in a way that is for architecturals and for surveying for that. So with that itself, we would do the modeling, okay, modeling according to the project requirement itself. Yeah. So in here examples, okay, we have architectures, structures, or M&E. So every project, if it can be defined in terms of the requirement, right? Then we will deliver accordingly. Mostly of the projects we deliver up to basic architecture and structures because they say I want to have a layout. Okay, so I would like to have a quick survey. So that's done. But then if you talk about, FM itself, perhaps, sometimes you can advise your client, look into M&E as well, okay, because they are aircon, they are ELV, okay, they are CCTV, etc. Okay, building safety and so forth. If this can be incorporated into the so-called 3D model itself, then you can provide more services, advices to your client for that matters. Okay, so this is how we deliver the workflow. Yeah, okay, in terms of so-called step by steps. Okay, pictorial wise, so we have a site, we scan it, we merge it, okay, we model according to the point cloud. Here you can see it's either structures, interior, or maybe special equipment itself, or the M&E, right? Finally, we got the results for that. This is the examples we have done 2014, 2015 itself for the projects with Jabatan Uku, ERL, Putrajaya for that matters. Okay, and this is a sample. Just now we were trying to say that, okay, this is not a picture only, but it's a point cloud. Okay, it's a point cloud, right? So you can see clearly that you can have the firefighting system, you can have the hanger, you have your so-called electrical so-called panel, routing here. Okay, you have your so-called big SCMV and so forth. So this is how we can get our so-called absolute data for that. Okay, right? And water tank supply. Okay, you can see all the routing pipings is no longer an issue. Sometimes if you talk about drawings, oh, drawings, where is it? 10 years ago, you see the drawing one side and you compare the other side, confused. Okay, you scratch your head itself. So I want to update my drawing. So use scanning, use the reality capture itself. You can even see palm, okay, WAP itself. So think about it, and it's come to so-called managing your asset itself. We scan it, we got the catalog, we build the catalog itself, then we can deliver as a BIM model as FM purposes for that matters, right? Okay, so that's a good part for that itself. Okay, these examples, I'm trying to show that this is the background that we have model and then superimposed with point cloud. Okay, this is how we derive the model. Okay, exactly, yeah, exactly how we do it. Okay, see, point cloud, this is, I think you're familiar with this background, it's a Revit software, right? Using recap. So background with the point cloud, and this is a light. Okay, one of the so-called, we have done the model. Maybe you have create the family first, just insert the family for that. Okay, pretty quick on that. Okay, right. The next, this is a structure. Okay, we scan it. Then when we model it, okay, according maybe some 2D old drawing itself, we merge it and verify whether are in the correct position for that. Yeah. Okay, this is a door examples. Okay, scanning, we model it, then we have the model. Of course, subsequently you can do more so-called enhancement in terms of make it more colorful and so forth to other alternative. Now, try to show you this is the point cloud. Okay, how we model it. You see, this is the results. Okay, we have for very large scale, asset that can be done, right? That can be done. Okay, this is a typical airport check-in counter. All right. Okay, typical super interior of a building itself. Yeah. Okay, it can go up to also M&E room, which is sometimes the heart and the blood of the building itself. Once this doesn't work, okay, maybe then the whole entire building is on panas. Okay, cannot work the office as part of that. Okay, in the Navy's work for that matters. All right, so these are the pictures. Yeah. Okay, so you can see that this is the external part of the so-called an airport itself. Yeah. Okay, been done by a scan to BIM. Now, quickly moving on, okay, I think we have less than another 15, 20 minutes. Okay, I would like to talk about how to deliver a drawing precisely. Yeah, precisely. So we make use of so-called the BIM to fill solution. Okay, so-called you can specify in so-called your BEP or your ERR. Okay, try to use the BIM to fill solutions. Yeah, to do what? Now, I'm trying to highlight here this picture here, saying that we have a very so-called thorough cycle. But when we deliver, it's off 3 mm off, or maybe 30 mm off, maybe sometimes half a meter off itself. So architect want to deliver accuracy plus minus 5 mm. Okay, how to do that? Okay, if it cannot be done, basically the design is wasting time because it's not delivered accordingly for that matters. So I'm trying to talk about equipment. Okay, so from your model, okay, bring into this equipment itself and let the equipment survey accordingly. See, this is the model being so-called done by the architect. So it will be surveyed accordingly and not just through a 2D plan for that. So it can be done by multi-formats. Okay, can be done by multi-format with this equipment, a BIM to fill solution. You can see the panel here can have the graphic point in there. So during a construction site itself, okay, we no longer confuse in terms of delivering, okay, exactly to the build itself. Okay, This is the message I'm trying to, bring to you. Okay, there is a beam to field solutions. Yeah, okay, appropriately to be deployed. Okay, you can see that. This is the model survey equipment. Okay, you can see that this is the so-called building. Okay, the multi-story. Yeah, so we have this one itself, right, in the so-called reference it. Okay, and build survey according for that. Oh, just a very quick short one itself because touch bit too technical on that. The next one, okay, I would like to share with you a gadgets. Okay, this new gadgets like a handphone here is called 3D images. Okay, it's very good. Got three functions. You can measure distal. You can take pictures. You can take measurement from that, and then you can measure 2D and 3D for that. Okay, this will help. Okay, traditional method itself. You see, guy taking photograph, go back and then do some measurement and so forth. So we make use of this little guy. Okay, take a photo, upload to Beam 360 itself, then becomes your tools itself. When you go to, you don't have to argue with so-called your client or maybe your so-called your subcontractor already for that matters. Take photo, snapshot, hey bang, this one tingkat tak betul size. Okay, can you change your spec? Kenapa? How do you know? Yalah, this one already size less than supposed to be this spec. This one no more dispute. And then some more, you can have your layout map, okay, and then try to document it. So basically, it's a calibrated camera, okay. So it's called BLK 3D itself, okay. So how it looks like, quite small, just like a handphone, like a iPhone 12 itself, the size of that, yeah. So this is how it looks, okay. Kalau boleh mainkan video sekejap tu, right. So this is the video, okay. You can zoom in, right, and then you can take measurements, okay, for that on the spot, for that matters. Okay, quite nice tool itself, especially you go to remote area, far away, you come back, office, you don't have the measurement, and then you have to take the next flight, go back and redo it again. So, sometimes this tool very helpful. iPhone have, but it have to do real life, so maybe not beneficial. So look at the BOK 3D images itself, that helps for that. Okay, so, a ladies can carry at the neck itself, okay, just do photograph, okay, and then the results can be up to measurement in 2D or 3D. It can do just 2D, but slanting also can. Slanting also can for the matters. Okay, so this is just maybe an accuracy is within about 6 mm, okay, in terms of accuracy for that. So I think it's sufficient for a so-called, justification for that. Okay, quickly run through that. I said, most importantly, you can manage your e-photos, okay, and then you can also build your so-called measurement of this in terms of 3D. Okay, this is a 3D for the matters. Okay, you can do a layout for that. Okay, if you are so-called don't have any tools for that thing, site visit, it could be quite good. Okay, in overall, I'm trying to say that it will help to do a document on sites. Okay, can do a sharing. Okay, and also okay, can respond to actual situation for that matters, right? Okay, I think in short, I think I just skip through this one itself. Okay, saying that this can just put some tagging. Okay, so put some tagging. You can have your layout map, tag the photo itself, so you know where are the locations. Okay, so that you can justify in terms of real-time reporting for the matters. Okay, let me just skip through this. Okay, some pictures. Right. Right, this all pictures is justifying typical scenarios. Okay, that you're able to do some measurements from this photograph itself. Okay. So, okay, I think most importantly, can you do relate to a Beam 360 doc itself that, can do some reporting for that. Okay, I would like to go to the next one, which is more interesting, which is the images and point cloud processing. Okay, now these pictures, okay, on the right-hand side, this is a real-life pictures. Okay, it's just like a photo. On the left-hand side, if you want to bring our model into so-called virtual reality, okay, we take lots of photo. Then we bring the real side into the model itself. Then you see, it is very difficult to do the modeling here, right?
Yeah.
In real life. But with pictures, measures itself, it can be done very nicely. Just photograph, take lots of photographs itself. Okay, so that imagine that we have any heritage site. Okay, we want to scan inside and outside, all can be done. Okay, all can be done itself. Do a proper HAPS 1, HAPS 2, HAPS 3 kind of reporting. Okay, that will give you it makes you different from other so-called practitioners for that. Yeah. Okay, so this is some of the examples for that, and then you see that what do you call it? These examples, okay, of the real life photo, okay, and also the model photo for that matters, okay, right? And you can see that this is the both are models, okay, being created using photograph, okay, can be doing outside and can be doing for inside indoor as well. Can contact me. I have some good examples that they have run it on the online itself. Can do virtual tour. So I find it very so-called beneficial. Okay, either for tourism or maybe for so-called architecture for that matters. Yeah. Okay. So all we need is a scanners and a photograph and a camera, which is camera can be done. So what we do is that we take lots of photograph inside, outside, okay, then we put inside the software, then we merge it, then we got the data itself, okay. So this is the process itself, okay. So we just need the software, then we get outroll this kind of like effect of the situation. Of course, lighting come into very important itself. So we use of the camera, the scanners, okay, and this kind of software that coming to it for that. So next one, this is some pictures, okay, taken using the same methods, okay. This is not rendered, but taking using the same methods itself, okay, to give you an almost can go do a 3D walkthrough. I'm not doing the walkthrough here because scared of the line here gets stuck up with it. So I just taking some photograph for the methods. Yep. Okay, not done by us, but it's done by an overseas examples. Okay, so locally here we're also starting to embark on that. Right. So I think that's touch on the four items itself. The last one is actually I'm trying to emphasize. Okay, all this data collection itself. Okay, we be it from the point cloud to do the modeling itself. Okay, finally, okay, we perform the parametric modeling itself. Okay, so just now we talk about the graphical mode itself because we scan it, we model it, right? So how to add in intelligence into it to become a beam enabled parametric model itself. So basically, it's all been done in the respective software, lah, ArchiCAD, Revit itself. So all this being done itself. Example, the light just now itself. So you just have to put in respective the so-called information on that, so that your data is to be intelligent enough, okay, to be used for FM for the matters. Okay, example for that matters. Okay, same goes to the pillars, the doors, firefighting. Okay, the rating itself, the door name is the brand name itself, maybe the maintenance for that matter, space management you have itself for your so-called client to manage the commercial contract for that matters. Okay, because it come in very handy if you have a proper sizes, because then you don't have a dispute, okay, with your client. Hey, you charge me so expensive, okay, but less than 1 meter square, so they come and sue you. Sometimes not worth it lah. So it's sometimes it's from that point perspective, reality captures come in very very handy for that matters. Okay, so of course you can have your so-called I think this is you I think as an architect you're very specialized in that, so I wouldn't be talking more on that. Yeah. So now I try to say that conclusion here, quick one. So now, so I put in back this slide because we have a beam strategy. So make sure that if you want all these tools, okay, to be deployed, okay, make sure it's mentioned inside your, okay, your organization strategy first. Okay, mention it first, okay, specify it first, so that there's no dispute and then not to clear out, okay, what are the so-called potential, okay, situation that can be, done by this sort of technology for that matter. So just think about here, use the right tools itself, then your whole project entire will be delivered smoothly on that. Okay, and of course, we are moving from away from a level 0, okay, to level 1. Okay, so level 0 talk about 2D CAD, right? Okay, so level 1 talk about CAD, maybe 3D model itself, and I'm sure that mostly you hear about BIM level 2. Okay, so with that scanning, with that images, so-called updates so forth, okay, slowly the industry will be moving towards BIM level 2 itself. So we're talking about the right tools, okay, deployed at the right place itself. So last but not least itself, so we have been practicing this so-called beam scan to beam, okay, scanning itself to start with, okay, since 2006, okay. That wasn't have many so-called like acceptance in terms of technology, but of lately, okay, CIDB, JKR, okay, maybe some of the local requirement is gradually accepting scanning as part of deliverable itself. So I would say that, okay, we are progressing it, okay, the right direction in terms of Malaysia context for that. So I thank you. I think just in time, 4:45. Okay, I thank you for the time for listening to me. Maybe talking too fast. I think maybe now open for the Q&A sessions for that.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Razak. I hope there's question from the participants.
Sure,
It's
sure.
been very quiet. Uh, I'm just curious. Do you have any collaboration or work with Japan?
Yes, we did. 2014, we did a project for Smart Cadastre.
Uh-huh.
Okay, way back then, we did about the 4 blocks of building at Jalan Jelate itself. Okay, then one more building we did for ERL for that matters. Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Just curious because I work with an Australian company. When we want to set up a design or a layout, they have some sort of maps, which is very highly detailed, so that I can just screenshot and then just map it inside the model itself. Do you have that capability or that kind of library inside your company?
Library side itself, depending, we don't have a lot of library, okay, because I think it depends, okay. I think typically itself, I think we model in place, okay, for that matters, because we are not a design company. Mostly, we will try to model it up to LD 300, but mostly, if we say supply in terms of library, we'll be getting from the respective supplier, the aircon guy. I think that will be relevant for that matters.
Mm-hmm. Are you able to do something like Google Map, all those things?
Google Map, I think in terms of Google Map, we are not a platform, but we can supply the data to the platform itself. So Google Map itself, at the moment, we have, texture mapping, right? Okay.
Uh-huh.
So that is so very costly. Okay. Just now when I mentioned about the photogrammetry solution itself, yeah. Okay. That actually, it was a, what do you call it? It was a, beg your pardon, it was methods, okay, to deliver photogrammetry for that matters. I think we go Shah Alam area itself, we can see maybe some meshes itself.
Mm-mm,
Okay,
mm-mm,
those were taken for satellite imageries. Okay,
mm.
then they do a meshing on that for that matters. And just now sharing with you the capturing reality, the RGSoft software, maybe the scanners. Okay, is capable to do it for building basis for the matters.
Mm. When you do scanning, the tool itself is just like uh, an X-ray where it can actually scan through the wall. Is it?
It can't. Basically, the tools is just like it bounce back. It send a laser, okay, to the
Ah.
wall, and then it bounce back. It's not. If it sounds like X-ray, it's a bit scarier because it have a radioactive. So it's not a
So it's
radioactive
just
type
on the
of, yeah. It's
surface.
just a survey tool.
It just read
That's
on the
correct.
surface,
Correct.
and then all the surfaces that you've gathered, you just compose it into using one software. Is it?
Correct.
Ah.
Correct. In fact, scanning basically is just I would say it's surveying tools.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I think in Malaysia context, okay, especially I think nowadays when change of ownership of a building itself, they don't have the building plans. Okay, they would require the services. Okay, they can. I mean, sometimes big buildings, tall building, big size, it is very impossible to be done in accurately in a short time itself. So deployment of scanning itself, okay, is the best approach. I would say that. Okay. Apart from that, we talk about ANA works itself, heritage. Okay. I mean, heritage-wise, of course, there's not much of value in terms of commercial,
Mm.
but then it gives kind of a social economic impacts. Okay, of documenting it for that matters. Mhm.
So talking about heritage, what are the consideration that when you are engaged by the consultants, what are the consideration during your doing your scanning on the conservation project?
Oh, conservations or any scanning project itself, we basically look at the size and
Mm-hmm.
complexities. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes okay whether have a high resolution kind of details or maybe just enough for layout itself. So depending on the requirement, yeah. Okay, heritage wise, basically more for architectural, basically the size of the size and shapes. Okay, exterior wise itself. Not so much in terms of maybe the structural, maybe just a layout for that. Okay,
Any restriction? You
so for
cannot
I think,
use something
pardon
or
me, the line
any
is broken.
restriction? Any restriction while doing the scanning?
Yes, I think because of the accessibility mostly. because sometimes can be safety of the site, okay, accessibility of the site itself, maybe some lighting. We did actually conservations for Parliament, okay,
Mm-hmm.
Parliament. We did about 13 staircases, okay, for the Parliament. Well, I think a couple of years ago, and through one of the conservator, okay, he's from Penang, Sharudin himself. So we had challenge because construction site is is a very dirty itself. So we have done two times, okay. HAPS one, okay, before it construct, okay. HAPS two repair, they're taking photograph for that matters. HAPS three is after they have doing a post basically they completed. So that it assists in comfort because the staircase is very unique. It's a spiral staircase itself.
Mm.
Conventional methods cannot be done for the matters. That's more meant for heritage, yeah, for the matters. Building wise, we have done so far about 25 floor buildings. On top of that, we have done that. This is the tallest we have done it. The biggest that we have done it for so-called scan to beam kind of applications. Okay, for digital twins for the data preparation. Not scanning, but we have done it for overseas for Changi Airport T2. Okay, together with partners in Singapore. Okay, the biggest site we have done so far, the multiple site we've done is for Plus Highway. Plus Highway, they have all the R&R. They want to do a digital layout for that matters. So in the indoor and outdoor, all the layout itself been done with that for the past 2 years itself, been completed on that. Mhm.
Okay, I have a little experience with surveyor.
So I
Yeah.
suppose,
Um.
sorry, the line.
Okay, I have a little experience with surveyors, so I'm not quite knowledgeable on their parts. So when I just curious about what's are the content in the academic sites. Are they exposed with these tools um or how?
I think in terms of universities, we have also units of selling team selling the scanners, okay, to the universities as well. They are exposed, okay. There are some local doctor, okay, who actually pursuing the PhD in terms of scanning
Mm-hmm.
itself. So a couple of universities like UTM, UNIKL, we have it also KKTM itself, okay. Where else? Yeah, I think locally wise, okay, scanning is not new in fact. Okay, just that for the implementation itself, I think mostly would engage scanning are those at the moment local company not yet would be able to accept as they say, hey, I have to pay extra for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but overseas company to them is also become norm. Okay, they have problems to do the verification itself. They wouldn't go for normal survey. They will say, okay, engage a scanning company, come in and verify. Okay, so that I can see them in 3D instead of 2D for the matters.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. What more I can share? Yes, we have done it one for heritage projects for architect, okay, Urbanisma, okay,
Mm-hmm.
join for that. We did that for them itself, Penang, in Penang Museum, okay, provide a layout for that, okay, a couple of years ago, okay. Sabah, we have done a couple of projects for Sabah Land Survey for some, local content, just some scanning and do the documentation for that. Yeah. Factory-wise, in terms of architect, maybe we talk about factory rehabilitation work itself when they want to do renovations. Okay, they need the data. Okay, at least engineer start to appreciate it because this data not just meant for production of the drawing itself, but also it enable them to spend less to go on site because once you have the scanning, you already have a virtual tour. You can go and visit the site day and night at your office instead of going to site, climb up the monkey ladders, checking everything itself. So I have one successful at the moment a client itself, engineers, okay, they are doing the boiler enhancement itself, replace the boiler. Go with my consultant. I said, hey, why they are going up and down? I said, no worry. Once you have the scan data, they'll be very happy because they can have all the measurements. Because I see them as a 5, 6 fellows try to climb up and down, do the measurement, discuss. I said, I don't think they have sufficient time.
Yeah.
Within 2, 3 hours. Okay, and it's not sufficient. So then they're very happy. Okay, within less than 2 months, they pay me the money. I say, oh, thank you very much. Okay, this helps in the discussion because we can, based on this accurate data itself, they can design accordingly for matters. Mhm. Yep. And I think just now I was sharing a couple of technologies, scanners, beam to field solutions. Okay, maybe you see it as a total station, but it's no longer, it's beyond the survey side. Engineers, architect, basically can deliver. That's why they try to make it very user friendly for that. That's why bring in the model, you can survey on your own, okay, just based on some, step by step guides from that. And also the BLK 3D itself. I find it very, let's say you have a remote project itself, very handy for that matters. Okay, you can do a proper documents, or maybe conveying the right information, because sometimes because of I come across an experience. Yeah, okay, we supply an equipment to offshore. All right, then we want to fabricate a very small panel, just like, it costs only 1,006 ringgit for that panel itself. But because the fellows who we sent in to collect the information, he didn't collect enough informations, okay, to send back. So that information, that piece is 1,600 ringgit, but the deliverable is 400,000 for that. So because of one very small hiccup itself,
Yeah.
and then we got scolded for not able to deliver on time. So personally itself, I find it a small item, okay, maybe it worth 1,006, but the value to the big pictures beyond that. Okay, it's beyond that for that. So this is our personal experience we'd like to share with. And I think for architect, for I think the photogrammetry itself, we actually lately so-called engage in it, because we find it the real world is very complex. Okay, if you want to do the modeling, it's going to be very costly for that. So we see that this will help, okay, architects to able to say that gather the so-called close to real life, okay, meshing, okay, so that maybe they can doing design more aesthetic, okay, to call the environment itself, because you want to maintain the whole environment. That's why we map accordingly for that, based on this kind of data. So I hope that as part of our so-called missions are to assist the industry for that. Mhm.
Yeah, it's very helpful when you're doing your design, especially on early stage where you had existing site and then you want to merge with your new design. So if
Yes.
traditional way, we have to go to the site and then measure it and then come back to the office. But if you start forgetting what you're supposed to do, then you have to go back.
Most importantly is you get the 2D drawing itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You spend a lot of money, but you get the 2D result. And you come in, you said you try to imagine what's in the 3D environment, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So I think personally, I've been involved in this industry for the past 14 years. Okay. It's not a very so-called quick market itself, but we are of lately past 3 4 years. I think people are more appreciate the 3D, and slowly coming for that matters.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
slowly coming up because the needs of it, there's a need for it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I
I
think
think
we're going to end our discussion in 5 minutes.
sure. Uh-huh.
Do you have any last word to say?
Now feel free to contact me. Okay. Just through Fatihah. If there's anything that I think the parties attendees come across for that. Okay. Maybe you may not see. In fact, next week I'm gonna have a site visit architect as well. Okay. They want to scan. Okay. They want to scan the factory because they have an engineer works itself. They don't have the info, so that
Mhm.
they call up, okay, to scan the factory. I think more on maybe I think the what do you call it, the application side itself. Any drawings you don't have itself, you want a quick drawing itself, scanning is the method itself. Then
Yeah.
doing it is easy because we can deliver point cloud and you can draw according to your ways for that
Mhm.
matters. Okay.
Mhm.
I think also I think that's about it. I think to as for today for sharing. Okay.
Thank you for participating in this session. It's been useful and then it's been insightful knowing that we have the capability locally, so then so that we can contact you to ease our job.
Sure, I think feel free to contact myself. Okay, okay, you got my email address itself.
Yes,
For
sure.
future reference.
All right. I think that's the end of our presentation and discussion for today. So hope to see you or having discussed with you in the near future, in the next future. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Razak.
Thank you.
for your presentation.
Thank
Okay.
you, Shu,
Yeah.
Amalia, and to Lavin, okay, for joining
Yeah.
this stuff. Mhm.
All right. Don't forget to sign out your attendance. So that's the last session, the last topic for our CPD Unlimited to 2021 for the year. All right.
Thank you, Fatihah.
Thank you.
I'll just pause and leave then. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.